Tells me you should stay a little while. Are we at the end or are we at the start? 129 beats per minute from my heart. Anywhere we go is where I long to roam. Night or day, I'm taking you all the way. 'Cause my heart screams, let me carry you home. Oh, there must be gold on those lanes.
Food on special occasions is always a delight to make and eat. Making a colorful arrangement with not just food and recipes but also surrounding decorations was my idea on this day. I was going to make lots of special recipes but ones that are very easy to execute. Also a very easy wall decoration idea. The prep we are doing right now can be done a day before. In fact, it is recommended to do it in advance for ease of execution for when guests arrive. Grating beetroot, boiling lots of potatoes in advance, keeping some whipped yogurt, and making the right kind of spice blends are some of the key things that can be done. I'm also going to be making green chutney in advance, which is a tangy coriander and mint chutney. Keep the flavors a bit strong since this will be used in combination with other things, and chutneys are always a big source of flavor in chaat recipes. Tamarind chutney will also be required, but I have made and kept that beforehand. Watch till the very end to see how I present everything in a bright and colorful manner. I will also provide a quick recipe for Dahi Puri that looks exceptionally unique and interesting even though it takes very little time to prepare. So this ways, certain ingredients that elevate a dish can be made ahead of time, and these things don't need a lot of work. For instance, keeping the pomegranate ready. Plan out your entire menu in advance to get a good idea of what all things can be prepared ahead of time. Well, dessert is also one such thing which we will be preparing shortly. But first, making a few spice blends for filling that we will be making soon. I will also make the dough in advance and keep it ready to be used later. Well, I am using about 70% whole wheat flour with 30% all-purpose flour along with ajwain and some oil and salt to bring the dough together. Beginning with the filling, we will roast the whole spices and let them cool down. Grind to a fine powder afterwards and then begin the recipe. This onion filling with a touch of potatoes is one of my favorite and it's very simple to make. I don't think you will regret it too. By the way, I'm planning to air fry this recipe, although it is best in taste when deep fried. But no one minds a healthier version too, right? Coming back to the recipe, we are going to be mixing together ground whole spices, onion, gram flour, mashed potatoes, powdered masalas and a small amount of water to thin everything out. As I had already mentioned that making the dessert in advance makes life much easier, so we are going to prepare a simple no-cook Gulab Mousse. Time is all that is required for the refrigerator to set this dish. In order to make this easy mousse recipe, we will whisk the cream until it forms soft peaks. The key to this recipe is to get the right kind of cream which is thick and can hold itself well. Combining some white chocolate in warm milk and adding that to the whipped cream too. This will add the needed sweetness. For gulab flavor, I am using Ruh Afza. Fortunately, it was a bright day for us here and we took full advantage of it. Switching up the tablecloth to a brighter colored one because why not? The idea in my head, like I said before, was to present things in a colorful way. Of course, adding loads of holy colors is one option if you wish to keep the theme dedicated to that. I made the decision to use this set of incredibly inexpensive wall hangings that I had bought from Amazon to decorate the wall and serve as table accents for the meal. I'll include a link to this in the description box. Beginning with the easiest but tastiest and my favorite chaat recipe, which is a layered chaat dish. Remember we made some pink colored potatoes in the beginning with the help of beetroot? We will now bring those to use. It's essentially layering everything in a bowl. I am adding broken papri's, but consider adding namak pares too if you have on hand. This recipe is a combination of crunchy, tangy and spicy flavors. Feel free to sprinkle on some chaat masala and black salt after every layer. The idea is to sort of layer everything but ensuring that we have the crunchy elements too. So if desired, you can also stack the papri's once in the middle of the entire mixture. Add the chutneys in between as well. Additionally, I included store-bought masala bundis to add a lovely flavor. Moving on to making use of the filling and the dough we made earlier. Well, the filling turned out pretty tasty and now shaping the dough is all that is left to do. I tried doing this part in two different ways. In one way, I tried making a portly sort of a shape to make it look more traditional and raw, if you know what I mean. And in the second way, it was a simple, typical kachori style. This is the easier version, I have to say, and it tasted better too. While this was happening, I set the air fryer to a preheat mode as well. Brushing the surface with some oil, and don't skip this step. The final time that it took in the air fryer was roughly between 18 to 20 minutes at about 200. We were now left to add some personal touches with love and flair. Starting with mousse that really missed its rose petals for garnish. I also added a touch of pista powder to it. Moving things around here and there to decide on the final layout and placement of dishes. I also had some homemade besan laddus that I wanted to display.
I can go to all the places where the happy people stay, but without you here beside me.
Serving the kachoris in a traditional way. There is no hard and fast rule, and I think we should follow our instincts when presenting food to our loved ones.
There's a ghost in every bar. I'm thinking in the moonlight.
We're also going to air fry the pani puris at the very last minute. It takes only about 4 minutes in the preheated air fryer to make them, and with that we will be making tasty dahi puris. For that, we will use pink dahi that we made earlier, and to that we will be adding boiled potatoes, chopped onions and a few spices.
I've been through and I can't.
But first we will set up the remainder things. I have arranged for a special spice and garnish corner. This includes all kind of spices that one may like to sprinkle on their chaat, and also some toppings like chopped onion, coriander, bundi and pomegranate. This will help people add things as and however they wish to, basically customize the recipe. Before filling the pani puris, I thought of quickly sharing with you the recipe for the rasedar aloo sabzi with no onion and no tomatoes in it. It smells and tastes super yum. To begin with, we will dry roast and grind a few basic spices. These will form the base flavors of the recipe. Then we will add these ground spices to oil along with grated ginger. Our prep work comes handy, and pre-boiled potatoes will come to use again. It's important that you don't chop the potatoes but crush them roughly by hand. A few more powdered spices and water to make the gravy. Here's a quick trick to make the gravy ever so slightly thick. Make a slurry of atta or whole wheat flour with water and add that to the gravy. This will bring about just the right kind of consistency. Indian chaat or similar recipes are basically a combination of many simple ingredients put together. So it's important that everything is available on the table for people to add as per their liking, making a small chutney's corner for the same reason. And lastly, when everything is ready, we can also bring together our blushing dahi puris. I've kept the consistency slightly thick, but that's totally a personal choice. With that, the entire spread was ready on the table. Please know that I have laid out everything in advance for the purpose of this video. The quantities can for sure be doubled or tripled as per requirement. The layout was done keeping the festival of Holi in mind, or an occasion that requires a colorful display. Hope you had fun watching. Thanks for coming and see you all next week.